Book of Good Counsels, from the Sanskrit of the Hithopadesha, by Sir Edwin Arnold. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. Dedication and Preface. Dedication to first edition. To you, dear wife, to whom, beside so well, true counsellor and tried, at every shift, I bring my book of counsels. Let it tell largeness of love by littleness of gift, and take this growth of foreign skies from me, a scholar's thanks for gentle help in toil, whose leaf, though dark, like Milton's homony, bears a bright golden flower, if not in this soil. Preface to New Edition. I made this book of Indian stories and poetical maxims from the Sanskrit more than 30 years ago in India. The work has passed out of print, yet as it seems a pity that the pretty forest fables and curious quotations from Indian poetry which it contains should be lost, I republish the pages with very few alterations, but in another and a more popular form. Edwin Arnold, London, September 1893. Preface. A story book from the Sanskrit at least possesses the minor merit of novelty. The perfect language has been hitherto regarded as the province of scholars, and few of these even have found time or taste to search its treasures. And yet among them is the key to the heart of modern India, as well as the splendid record of her ancient gods and glories. The hope of Hindustan lies in the intelligent interest of England. Whatever avails to dissipate misconceptions between them and to enlarge their intimacy is a gain to both peoples, and to this end the present volume aspires, in an humble degree, to contribute. The Hithopadesha is a work of high antiquity and extended popularity. The prose is doubtless as old as our own era, but the intercalated verses and proverbs compose a selection from writings of an age extremely remote. The Mahabharata and the textual Veds are of those quoted, to the first of which Professor M. Williams, in his admirable edition of the Nala 1860, assigns a date of 350 BC, while he claims for the Rig Veda an antiquity as high as 1300 BC. The Hithopadesha may thus be fairly styled the father of all fables, for from its numerous translations have come Aesop and Pilpay, and in later days Heinke Fuchs. Originally compiled in Sanskrit, it was rendered by order of Nushiravan in the 6th century AD into Persic. From the Persic it passed AD 850 into the Arabic, and thence into Hebrew and Greek. In its own land it obtained as wide a circulation. The Emperor Akbar, impressed with the wisdom of its maxims and the ingenuity of its apologues, commended the work of translating it to his own vizier Abdul Fazl. That minister accordingly put the book into a familiar style, and published it with explanations, under the title of The Criterion of Wisdom. The Emperor had also suggested the abridgment of the long series of slokas which here and there interrupt the narrative, and the Vizier found such advice sound and followed it, like the present translator. To this day in India, the Hithopadesha, under other names as the Anvari Suhaili, retains the delighted attention of young and old, and has some representative in all the Indian vernaculars. A work so well esteemed in the East cannot be unwelcome to Western readers who receive it here in a condensed but faithful transcript of sense and manner. As often as an Oriental allusion or a name in Hindu mythology seem to ask some explanation for the English reader, notes have been appended bearing reference to the page. In their compilation, and generally, acknowledgment is due to Professor Johnson's excellent version and edition of the Hithopadesha, and to Mr. Mui's Sanskrit texts. A residence in India and close intercourse with the Hindus has given the author a lively desire to subserve their advancement. No one listens now to the precipitate ignorance which would set aside as heathenish the high civilization of this great race, but justice is not yet done to their past development and present capacities. If the wit, the morality, and the philosophy of these animals of India surprise any vigorous mind into further exploration of her literature and deeper sense of our responsibility in her government, the author will be repaid. Edwin Arnold. End of dedication and preface. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat.